Bitcoin broke out of the bull flag formation right here, but eventually turned around and right now is seeing some form of a pullback, and we can also see that back in some other indicators. Guys, in today's video we are going to have a look at what we can expect with Bitcoin over the next coming days and which things we really have to take into account, because we are seeing a lot of bullish signals right here, but there are some signals where we have to be aware of which could happen over the next coming days, which might bring some turbulence in the price of Bitcoin. So guys, all about that in today's video. With that being said, my name is Jeroen. Welcome to the Blockchain Today, the channel where you subscribe for daily crypto videos. And guys, right now let's jump right into it. So yesterday's video, I've been talking about that right now Bitcoin was trading in this potential bull flag formation, right? We had an uptrend, we were consolidating, and eventually we broke that uptrend to the upside. We could actually already see it right here in the relative strength index, because we had a declining resistance. We broke that declining resistance right here already before we broke the resistance in the price. It was a weekend breakout, which means that there is less volume than normally, and most of the time it is slightly less significant than a breakout during the week, mainly because of the volume. Because after a weekend breakout, we are seeing the price coming back, but we also had a signal that the price was stopping out right here. That was due to the fact that we are seeing these divergences. So we have a declining resistance over on the relative strength index where we got rejected from, which directly is a bearish divergence, because right here we've set a high and we set a lower high, and in the price we did the opposite. We were setting a higher high, showing us that Bitcoin bullish momentum right here is running out of steam. We also saw that over in the MACD, and we saw it even in more momentum indicators. So this was actually quite a clear short-term top, and right now the price has been coming down and backtested the former resistance of that bull flag as new support. We haven't been breaking below that level, so that's actually looking quite bullish. So far guys, Bitcoin is actually looking structure-wise quite good, right? We are still in an uptrend, we are still in this bounce. We are not yet seeing a turnaround, which means that Bitcoin could see a further correction. So that is all looking good. If we have a look at different signals, and one signal is of course the crypto fear and greed index, which right now is at neutral levels, which is also a bullish sign, especially when the funding rate in general is negative. I've been tweeting about that as well, guys. The funding rate was negative, the crypto fear and greed index was neutral. Basically it's a good mix for a short squeeze that the price will go up, right? Because if there's a lot of panic, price will go up. If there's a lot of greed, it can drive the price down. So that was an interesting thing, and that's also what we are seeing actually during this whole formation, where Bitcoin was consolidating right here, but also where Bitcoin is trading in right now. We are seeing negative funding rates, which basically means, guys, that a lot of people, the majority of the traders right here, are trying to short Bitcoin. So the majority of the traders are often at the wrong side of the story, as you can see right here as well, because this, you might have some, of course, you might have some successful shorts right here, but in general right here the trend is up, and it's better to look for nice long positions, because the potential reward to the downside is way lower than the potential reward to the upside. So the sentiment right now is also looking quite good for Bitcoin. We have a neutral sentiment with the majority still being short on Bitcoin, which can drive the price up. But guys, we have another problem right here, and that is that we have a lot of insecurity going on in the regular financial markets. And if we have a look at the S&P 500, which is right now closed, of course, so right now the S&P 500 is not trading, and we go to the daily time frame, it will open tomorrow again on Monday. What we can see on the S&P 500 is that the S&P 500 is trying to break a key support level right here, which might start a further decline in the S&P 500. And as you guys know, the S&P 500 and Bitcoin are highly correlated still, especially when there's panic. And most of you guys probably know the whole story with Evergrande that is going on, that the Chinese stock market right now is at the point of a major crash. So guys, basically there's a lot of insecurity going on there, which could drive the stock market down, and this is a potential scenario we have to be aware of, which might happen over the next coming days, where we could be seeing, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, I'm just saying that if you are longing Bitcoin, if you are trading Bitcoin, you should be aware of that. This is a potential scenario, a further drop in the S&P 500, which can have a effect on the price of Bitcoin as well. This is a very important chart to watch. That is the volatility index. If we were to get a decisive breakout out of this resistance, then that would most likely show us that we are going to see a drop in the S&P 500 and therefore also over in Bitcoin. But so far, guys, next to that black swan event, let's call it a black swan event, where we are seeing first signals of right now, so it's actually not completely a black swan, but that risk that we are seeing in the regular financial markets, we are recognizing that. But next to that, I do have to say Bitcoin is just looking good. Majority, as you can see, is shorting Bitcoin. That is a positive sign. We have negative funding rate. So all in all, that's actually quite good, and therefore I would say right now being bullish on Bitcoin would be a better stance than being bearish. But you have to be aware of what is going on in the regular financial markets, because if we are getting a drop right there, we definitely can see Bitcoin taking a deep dive as well. So guys, for every single one of you who's interested in trading Bitcoin right here, longing Bitcoin or shorting Bitcoin, or trading Bitcoin over on the spot market, you can do that on a couple of exchanges. These are the exchanges that I'm using. The first one is the Bybit exchange, which is a awesome exchange to trade Bitcoin, a variety of altcoins with leverage on the spot market. And if you use my sign up link down below to join Bybit, you can get an additional bonus of $610. On the Femix platform, which is kind of similar to Bybit, you can trade Bitcoin, a variety of altcoins on the spot market, but also with leverage. If you sign up using my affiliate link down below, you can get an additional bonus of $2,000 if you meet the deposit requirements. And the Prime XBT platform is slightly different. You can only trade there with leverage, but they have different functionalities, like you can trade the S&P 500 there as well, and you can copy other traders and basically earn Bitcoin based on their trades. And if you sign up using my affiliate link, you can get a 50% deposit bonus. So for all the traders that are interested in one of these platforms, you can find all of my links below this video. If you haven't done so already, guys, make sure to leave a thumbs up. That is very much appreciated. Guys, then I quickly want to have a small talk with you about a different subject that's more the fundamental side of Bitcoin. I saw this tweet. I don't know this person, but I just saw this tweet over on Twitter, and I just wanted to bring that up. This is a girl saying, I'm 30 years old, and in my lifetime, 2 Ukrainian banks closed down, taking my savings with them. It didn't take long to convert me in Bitcoin. This is a risk that the majority of the people out there, they don't really recognize. So the majority of the people out there, they trust the banking system, they have their money in the bank, but they don't actually know what's going on. It's very difficult to exactly know what's going on due to the fact that it's quite a complex system. But the most important thing is that the system is not working in the customer's advantage. So what basically happens is when you put your money in a bank, that bank is using that money, is taking risk with that money, while you are carrying the risk, while the bank is actually risk-free, taking risk with your capital. So if something goes wrong, like a housing market crisis, a stock market crisis, whatever, then most of the time your money will be gone too. So that's also what we are seeing right here. Somebody lost his savings on a bank account. I've seen it also in my close environment. My family had a bank account in 2008 at a certain bank, and once the financial crisis happened, the housing market crisis in 2008, the money was gone. Just got a phone call, sorry, the money is gone. So that was quite a sad moment, especially For my parents who really had trust in that certain bank and really did not really thought that something like this is possible. We also saw it in Greece, for example, when the crisis hit right there. People weren't allowed, couldn't really take money out of an ATM. So basically, when you have your money, the majority of your money in a bank, it's not really yours. It's the bank's money. They are doing risk on activities with that money while you are actually carrying the risk. And that's also one of the things that is very important why you should be in Bitcoin. Because especially when we have a look at the world right now, the world is very shaky. A lot of what we're actually seeing is that the old system is on the edge of collapsing. The old system as we know it, everything as we know it, the old financial system, the old system, how we used to run certain things, is actually, in my opinion, on the edge of collapsing. And if you are too much depending on the old system, you are going to have a difficult time making that transition to a different system. And I think Bitcoin is for the economical side the solution, right? So I think it's very important that you are next to trading. If you want to trade Bitcoin, yes or not. If you want to watch the price every single day, yes or no, depending on your strategy, that's a different story. But if we have a look at the fundamental background of Bitcoin, then I think it is very important for every single one on the planet to at least own a small part of Bitcoin for the future that is going to come. And the future might be quite turbulent. We are going to see maybe some crazy things happening, some systems that are going to collapse, but Bitcoin is going to help you to still be able to participate in a certain economy. And that is very important because if you are only depending on the old system, you might be in for a surprise in the next coming year. So I would just definitely recommend everybody to, for me, I have the majority of my assets always in crypto already since 2016. But yeah, of course, I know that might not be always the best advice. That's what I'm doing. But I think it would actually be very wrong if you don't have a long-term HODL portfolio. If you don't have a long-term Bitcoin portfolio, and I think the majority of you guys have it, I'm convinced about that. Of course, I know that. Just for the people that don't have a long-term portfolio, a long-term Bitcoin portfolio, I would definitely recommend you from a fundamental perspective, from a global perspective right now, when we have a look at everything that is going on in the world right now, you should definitely own Bitcoin to protect yourself from upcoming crises that are going to come. So guys, that was just a quick talk about how I look at the fundamental side of Bitcoin, and I just see it lately more and more often how important Bitcoin is becoming right now. And if you don't own any Bitcoin, if you don't participate, if you don't free yourself from the existing system, then you will have problems later on, because the system, the current system might collapse in the coming years, and you should already transition right now to another more sovereign system where you have your freedom and when you become a more individual person. And one thing I also want to say is, of course, Bitcoin also carries risk. So if you really want to be independent and want to be able to participate in the economy later on as well, then you should diversify also in different assets, like hard assets, like for example precious metals, silver and gold. That I think is also important. But yeah guys, that was it for today's video and for today's speech. I just wanted to share it with you guys. I was thinking about it lately more and more often, and we have seen it also as well in previous. I've seen a tweet from Plan B about it as well, and we just see it. We see it in history occurring as well. The human nature is working in certain cycles, and we have certain cycles in systems as well, and fiat systems, for example. And if we have a look at the history, and if we have a look at all the events that are taking place right now on the earth, then we are seeing signals that we are ending a certain era, and that the previous system as we know it is not going to last over the next coming years, and that we are going to see a transition into a new system. And I think that new system most likely will be Bitcoin. And yeah, that's why I think it is important that you have a long-term HODL portfolio, not to trade with, but just to protect yourself for what is going to come in the future. Guys, I hope you all have a great Sunday today. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If so, make sure to leave a thumbs up. That is very much appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And I hope to see every single one of you in the next one.